Okay, I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. Most people buy houses and they think they're investments. They're dead wrong. By the end of this video, you'll find out why most homes are indeed liabilities and how to shop for real estate that'll actually be a great asset and an amazing investment rather than a money pit. I have used this philosophy myself and have made tens of thousands of dollars, but more importantly, have avoided losing hundreds of thousands. Welcome to the Millennials Guide to Money. My name is Brad, and this is where you learn how to dominate your finances to own your life. Let's dive in. All right, first up, where do we get this idea that houses are investments? It's usually from our parents and grandparents. They buy a house when they're married in their 20s, they raise a family, and then they sell it when the kids move out or retire, and they make a whole boatload of money. Well, that's great, but what happens until the moment they sell the house? They're paying insurance, they're paying taxes, they're paying maintenance, they're doing all these upgrades. It's costing them a lot of money, and their home isn't even guaranteed to go up in value. Yes, I know real estate goes up in value as a whole. There's inflation, there's all those things. But to me, an investment is something that produces revenue, it's income generating. So for example, I see a house kind of like an old baseball card. You could say, oh, I'm investing in this Ken Griffey Jr. baseball card. Yeah, Ken Griffey, if you don't know, he was an awesome player back in the 90s. I'm investing in this. You have hopes that it goes up in value, but there's a chance that it doesn't, or it doesn't much. So until the moment you sell it and it's worth more, it's actually doing nothing for you. Now, our parents got it right because they stayed in the house their whole life. They sold it after 20 years, 30 years, it was paid off, and they made all this money. However, our generation is a bit different. We're impatient. We want to move every 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. We want to upgrade lifestyles. We want to hop around. And this is dangerous because the real estate market follows the economy. It follows the other market. The more people make money, the more jobs there are, the more people that go from renting, they can save up, have a down payment, they can get approved because they have good job history, they can get a house. So people that were renting a small apartment now buy a small house. People in a small house can now buy a bigger house. People in a bigger house can now buy a mansion. So it follows it that way, but that makes it so dangerous because what happens when the economy crashes? Well, if no one can afford to buy a house, then all of a sudden the prices go down. Some people have to sell. Things happen where you gotta sell a house or you gotta move somewhere, but you can't demand as much. So that $350,000 house might be worth $280,000, $270,000. That is not an investment. And no matter what your house is worth, there's gonna be insurance, taxes, maintenance, all of these costs that you'll have to cover. And that's why people, especially in California and these very expensive cities, they're gonna be screwed extra hard because they're not even income generating properties. They're not even affordable properties. If you're in LA, good luck having a property, a piece of land for less than $500,000 or $600,000. While if you're in the Midwest, that could buy you a 5 or 10 unit apartment complex. So it's very risky because the market can change, and then if you are stuck paying all those bills without money coming in, you're done for. There are also other risks people don't talk about, and while it's more rare, it's still something that affects a lot of people. For example, your neighborhood or school zone could get worse. They could include parts of a rougher part of town in your school that'll drop your value. You could have neighbors move in that create a lot of headaches, and that could drop property value. You can have an airport built next door. You could have a hurricane or a flood zone or something happen that actually brings down the value of your home. So there are a lot of ways that your primary residence is not an investment. It's more like crossing your fingers and hoping that at some point, like please, 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 I hope it'll be worth a lot one day, but it's kind of like, yeah, more than likely it'll go up in value. It's just not a sure bet, and I would not consider it an investment. Fortunately for you, there are a lot of ways of making money in real estate with legitimate investments, not your primary residence. First things first is you got to look for income producing potential. So this could actually be the home you live in. If you have a 3-bedroom house, if you have a duplex, you can rent out other rooms. You can do Airbnb, you can do monthly rentals, yearly rentals, whatever it is, and now it's producing money. I would not call it really an investment or an asset until it's producing more money than it's costing you. So if your mortgage, insurance, taxes, a reserve for maintenance, all those things is $2,500 a month, I would not call it an asset until it at least makes $2,501 a month. Now, obviously, if you could live a place for free or at a steep discount, yeah, that's great, but I would not consider it an investment. However, you can always buy a house with 1 bedroom, rent out the other 2. That's why people buy apartment complexes. They live in 1 unit, rent out 6 or 7. And at that point, you're not only living for free, but then you're really making money month after month. Number 2 is forcing appreciation through upgrading a property. Now, this does not make it income producing per se, but if you buy a rundown piece of crap place and you put in $15,000 and then you could sell it for a profit, yeah, it's an investment. But what's even better is if you can do that and then rent it out and get a higher amount of rent. So now you put in $15,000 into renovating this your house, and it would have rented for $1,000 before, and now it's going to rent for $1,400 or $1,500 a month. To me, that's an investment. Lastly are REITs, R-E-I-T, Real Estate Investment Trust. This is when you own stock in a bunch of different multifamily or cash flowing properties. This is all run by someone else. They put it together. They own apartment complexes, all these places that bring in money, and you just invest in the stock in that. So you're not actually owning the real estate. You don't get the tax benefits of it, but that is a way for you to use real estate as an investment. Now, real estate investing is super complex. It goes extremely deep. This is just the initial thought. Your house is a hope. It's a wish. It's something that if it's not producing money for you today, you should not consider it an investment, because right now at this moment, you could be getting a property that is producing money for you month after month. Now, here's a little example. I had a house in Tampa that I bought 2.5 years ago. Small 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, 850 square feet, a little piece of crap. $56,000 is what I paid. There was a renter in there that was paying $850 a month. That's a very good ratio overall. So after some maintenance and some taxes and insurance, all that, I was getting about $600 a month, month after month, every single month. To me, that is an investment, that is an asset. I sold it a few months ago for $92,000. So not only did it make money, about $30K at the end, but it was making me $600 a month every month up until that point. Most people rely, they wait, they hope on that final sale. But the problem is with the market, if you gotta sell and it's a down market, you're screwed. If all these other factors happen, you're screwed. When you can count on cash flow because your property is actually in demand right now and is making you money right now, that is when you have an investment. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn more about real estate investing, request my free guides, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Cash Flow Quadrant, best beginner real estate investing books you'll ever read. I'm giving away notes for free. Request them now, and I'll see you on the next episode.